Good morning. Greetings to you, fellow brothers and sisters all over planet Earth. Coming to you live from a fresh, I want to say winter's morning, but we're not actually in winter right now. We're on the cusp, and I can't wait for it. It's been very, I would say, even though we've had a little bit of rain, it's been a dry season so far. And I thought I would do this live stream in my workshop where I am busy creating, expressing creation, and it's got a nice vibe in here now that I've done a little bit of work, put in a little time and effort, and it's coming together slowly. So I'm hoping my sound is okay. I've just got a little headset thing here. No fantastic mic setup, but I'm hoping it will suffice and, will serve me through this live stream. So, hi Alchemy. Here we are again, creating a magically induced world around you. I guess once somebody realizes that you actually do create the world around you, as opposed to what we've been taught, you will realize how magical and how intrinsically mysterious creation is and the world is, and that there's a lot of question marks, a lot of holes that cannot or have not been filled by by those who have been and are governing our worlds. I think whether they do this in their own minds for our benefit, but I doubt it. I think it's for the benefit of a minute few. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. They can do what they want. What's important is what you want and how you conduct your life. And just because you live on planet Earth doesn't mean you have to abide by the general status quo. And you are free to think and do as you wish and create and express as you wish. So it's entirely your choice, the way you conduct yourself on this planet. So you are allowed to create at will. And although we are somewhat of a conditionalized planet, in essence, we can still do things as we please and as we would like. So let me just see if this is coming through okay. Let's see. Whoops. Oh no, what have I pressed? Just give me a second here. What have I done? I'm not seeing the chat. Why am I not seeing anything? Add stream marker. No. I don't know why. Maybe if I fill the screen I can see a little bit better. I can't. I don't know what I've done. Oh gosh. I am so sorry that I cannot get it right. I don't know what I've done to the chat. Can anybody else see the chat? What have I done? Edit settings. No. I kind of want to see everybody here. What have I'm just clicking through quickly, sorry. Let's just see if what have I done? What have I done? How can I see the chat? I can't see it right now. Like the whole side of that screen has just completely disappeared. And I'm too scared to refresh anything just in case I lose you guys. What have I pressed? How about if I open this page on another page? I am so sorry for my lack of understanding with this. You would think, being an old-time YouTuber now, that I would be up with this, but I'm anything but. And I think that's probably at my own discrepancy, because, well, this is a thing, you know, like the system's always changing. Okay, oh my gosh, what happened? I can see you guys now. Okay, I've had to actually refresh the screen, so I didn't refresh it. I've left the other one open and I've moved over on another window. Hi everybody. So anyway, as I was saying, you are free to express yourself how you wish. And one thing to remember and one thing to know is that, you know, your physical body is the absolute expression of your soul's energy. You are your body, your physical body is the physicalization of your soul's energy. So, you know, it's not like that you harbor this ball of energy within you and that is your soul. No, the soul essence of you is every fragment and every minuscule element of your physical manifestation, of your physical body. So this is the flesh and blood form of your soul. And how you conduct yourself and how you present yourself is your living, breathing soul. And that's the fantastic thing about living on this planet, is that you absolutely can be as you wish to be. And when you realize and understand the mechanisms of living in our reality and knowing that you can create whatever reality you wish, you know, whatever you want your reality to be, you can do that. But there's so many conditions and limitations that are imposed either by outside agency, outside influence telling you, oh, you can only reach B if you do A and A first, or A and B first. So that outside impression is already there in the background, which very much influences the way people think. People think they can only be successful when they have a certain amount of money, or they have a certain amount of accolade, or they have a certain amount of degree. Success is so individual. Success is so unique, and it's the same with beauty. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and it only has conditions put on it when we do that. Otherwise, it's unconditional. Otherwise, it's unconditional. But if we categorize something or put conditions on something or someone, then, you know, that's already, you know, giving a limited perception. So it's all relevant, but it's all subjective, and it's all superfluous at the same time. It's all subjective. And if you say it's a certain way, well then, you know, according to the fundamental laws that govern our existence, it will be so. And that is the that is the most encompassing and wonderful feeling, to know that you can express yourself so freely, especially in this day and age. You really can. And just Just give me a second. I'm not closing the screen, but I just refreshed it again. I am still live streaming, I think. I hope. Yes, yes, I am. I actually think because I'm in my workshop, it's, I'm still going. Oh, very good. Okay. I've just refreshed it. You know, it's hit and miss in this house because, yeah, my connection is a little bit chalky. So once you realize the actual essence of our existence, and it's based on the law of cause and effect, and knowing how powerful your thoughts, your ideas, your visualizations are, even like your emotions are basically the fire that propel these images and these ideas and thoughts forward. And emotions, you know, are basically as thick or as thin as you want them to be. And we all have emotions and events, people, things, objects that trigger us, that act as catalysts. And, you know, we are walking chemical reactions. And I say that, you know, with no pun intended, but, you know, we react on every single level and in every single way. We react, we are constantly reacting with our bodies. There are a trillion chemical reactions happening all at once, but then we also react to our environment and how much energy we decide to give something and what we decide to give our energy to. And it really is all subjective. So, you know, for example, you can decide what it is and what path you want to go on, regardless of those around you and what they believe to be the right way of living. There is no right or wrong way, but the majority frequency that our planet is, you know, somewhat governed within, decides what is right or what is wrong. And I've always said, you know, life really is like a blank canvas, and you may come in with a few sketch lines, as in themes that you wish to explore in this reality, in this lifetime, but you can color the picture any way that you desire. And it's your creation, it's your artwork, and knowing that whatever choice you make, it absolutely has a rippling effect, and it affects everything around you, be that the environment, be that people, be that anything. And I've said in previous videos how so many human beings are so passive, too passive about their own imprint that they are leaving behind, not being aware of the conscious imprint, the energetic, not being aware of the conscious imprint that they're leaving behind, the energetic book note. I think, do they call it a book note? Bookmark, book note, bookmark, whatever. So not being consciously aware of the actual bookmark that they're leaving behind. And some people are extremely conscious of that. Some absolutely are. But there are a lot that are not. Oh, goodness. It's telling me no data is coming through. You know what? This is such a common thing. It's still streaming. I've got the green light. For some reason, the chat has stopped again. Gosh. I know I should be doing dummy tests, but like, you know, I guess, tests of uh, doing live streams. But when I when I do like all the like preliminary stuff before I actually conduct the live stream, it all seems good. It all seems working, but it's after when I'm actually rolling, when I'm having when I'm having the issues. So uh, you're absolutely in charge of your own destiny, and no matter how much um, no matter how much somebody else may tell you how things are going to turn out, even me as a psychic, as a clairvoyant, as an empath, someone who has a pulse on the energetic frequency. We all have it, but some people just are more aware of it than others. Um, Even me, here's me telling you, a clairvoyant telling you, nothing is written in stone unless you believe it to be. For me, my interpretation of clairvoyant and psychic energy is reading the probable timelines. So basically, let's just say you've got 10 rivers all next to each other, all parallel to each other. Some are thicker and more obvious than others perhaps next to them. You may have a couple of streams next to a big main one, and let's just say that that big main one is the path that you've chosen. And so you read it at that moment, so a lot of people that get readings or spend time with a psychic or clairvoyant, um, if the clairvoyant reads for them, 5 years prior, and things didn't turn out the way that the clairvoyant had predicted, um, it's not necessarily at fault of the psychic, because probable timelines are malleable and they change. But obviously, clairvoyants can pinpoint these changes as well. So it really is subjective, and I guess the bottom line is at least for me, it can be anyone that's had readings with me can absolutely know how cryptic the information comes through, and something that may not make sense at the time. I mean, it could be so far-fetched, and believe me, I have absolutely had readings with people and they're just like, what is this information? Because it's not in the probable reality at that moment. um, and they don't understand the information that's come through. However, perhaps in 6 months to a year, things come into their life, and they absolutely start gluing together, start making sense. It's like an aha moment, and people realize that perhaps later on. So, there again, it's these conditions. And I'm sorry, I've just kind of been knocked out by energy right in my face. I don't know if that was even caught on camera. I don't know if anyone just saw that, but that's what I mean. It can be so sporadic. Energy is so sporadic, and at least for me, as someone that is an energetic worker, um, I feel my sensitivity has just become more and more and more sharp ever since I've been living on the land. For example, and there's going to be a lot of people that I live around and my local friends and people that are going to be so against what I'm saying, because there is a real mice situation, and even rats. I mean, I have caught over 60 mice in my house. It's going to drive anybody mental having this amount of mice in your house, but I actually think as far as I know, as what I'm feeling, is that the mice are coming in and out of the house because there's a lot outside and not so many inside now, because I have been very diligent with my efforts to remove the mice when they come in. And I look at them, I look at their eyes, I look at, and I immediately, even before I'm close to them, I feel their fear. I feel how scared they are of me. And I hate that. I hate that they have this inbred fear in them, and they are desperate to get out. And I feel that. And so I cannot take life. And to me, you know, it is not my right, and it is absolutely not my place to end something's life because I deem them a pest or I deem them inferior to my own existence. How can you have that conversation with, you know, the layman, especially around here? They would think I am a nutcase, basically. I'm sure there's probably those that absolutely already think I am a nutcase, but that's okay. It's nothing unusual. And so I feel that. And I know a lot of you guys as empaths absolutely feel that energy as well. And as of late, some of you know, and I've spoken about rats having a house, making a nest in the chook shed where my chickens sleep. Well, guess what? In the last week, they have made their way inside my house. Yep, rats inside my house, in this house, and also in my other house. And, you know, it is unnerving to be startled awake in your bed and hearing rats on your kitchen bench. I am forever cleaning. I am forever sanitizing. And knowing they are there. Well, I had to get a rat trap. So I've had to upgrade from my mouse trap to a rat trap as well. And I caught my first rat last night. Speak of the devil, here's a little mouse on the floor. Can I turn this around? You see what I mean? Oh, he's gone. He's gone. He realized he was going to be on camera. So I caught my first rat. Caught my first rat last night, and the fear again in that rat is just rippling into me. And I look at its face and darting back and forward in the cage, so terrified, so frightened, dying to get out, trying to bite through the wire. The desperate feeling of wanting to survive and fearing for its absolute life. And that just, there is no interface between me and the rat, and I feel that instantaneously, and there's no denying that, and I could not forget it if I took the life of these animals, because they absolutely have a right to live just as much as I do, and I am not the decider of what lives and what dies. And for us to think that we are superior, to me, it's not right. For me, for my opinion, this is not right, and it's not ethical, because as soon as you start culling and getting rid of pests, they start overcompensating, especially rats, overcompensating for the loss, and they overbreed, and they feel the imbalance within their colony. Whether this is an energetic thing that they feel, I don't know, but I know that it's so far beyond my understanding, and I just know that I do not have a right to impoverish or take life just for the sake of me deeming it unworthy of its own creation and its own existence. How can you explain that to neighbors? How can you explain that to friends? They would not understand. For the most part, they would be triggered by their fear and wanting to just eradicate immediately. I see things a bit different. It's a bit like the scenario the scenario, sorry, there is that mouse again. It's a bit like the scenario I experienced with Violet, the snake, who terrified me when I first saw her, actually right here in this workshop. And seeing the size of her, she was huge, and that fear tripped me immediately, and every single day, the first thing I'd almost wake up to is, where's Violet? Is she in this house? Is she in that house? Am I going to step on her today? It's these thoughts that just are perpetuating, and I found the more I thought about her, the more she was staying within my frequency. And this went on for over a year. I would be dreading the summer, purely for the fact of knowing there was going to be snakes, Violet is going to be around, and you know, really, even though I hated the thought, I was stabilizing that thought within my frequency by continually thinking of her and thinking of what I don't want. I was keeping that in my reality, in my probable majority reality. And I would see her. I saw her the next summer, and I mentioned the experience of trying to throw a rock at her to scare her and get her out of the yard. Immediately, I have spoken about this before, how 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 insulted, not even how insulted she was, but how sad she was that I didn't accept her. I felt it immediately, the sadness and the rejection that I didn't accept her, and I immediately felt so sorry. And I went out to her little nest because I knew where she was, and I could hear her rattling under this big load of corrugated iron. Hello, Shalaha. I think this is Shalaha coming in. I immediately felt awful. I felt so bad, and I felt so sad that I had made her feel like that. And I went out and apologized to her. I left her some food, I gave her some water, and I said, you know, I'm sorry. And she had told me in, you know, in an impressionist type of way, I guess in an emotional way, because they don't have language obviously the way we do. It's so hard to describe animal communication, but it's a feeling rather than words and imagery. But she gave me the impression that she had been on my property long before I had come along, and she was a mature, fully mature female snake. And as soon as I accepted her and apologized, you know what? I did not see her all summer. I didn't even see her this summer. I did not even see one snake on my property. Like I actually know, I did see a tiny dead snake, tiny, the size of a lizard out my property. But no live snakes, no snakes in my immediate vicinity. I did not see her the entire summer that just passed. And I had mice, I had rats, and if she was around, I didn't see her. But you know what? I also didn't harbor that fear that has crippled me every summer of dreading of seeing a snake, of dreading of seeing her in here. I didn't have it anymore. It was gone. And I knew that because of my fear and because of the anxiety that I felt and the immediate trigger that it would cause me so much angst, I was keeping her in my vibration purely based on the fear. And this is not unique. This is with every single human being on this planet. There are things that we love and things that we don't love, and they both work hand in hand. And the more you focus on either side of the scale, the more it is going to exist within your reality, the more it will be manifest in your reality. And that is the absolute impetus and the truth of it, the truth of your reality. The more you focus on something, the more it will be of importance in your life. the more you will find it will be significant in your life. And that's all there is to it. Oh goodness, we've got a whole bunch coming in. It's the laying schedule. So I've just had to refresh my page again because I'm getting a yellow light, which I don't like. Oh, hello, Shalaha. Shalaha's coming in to say hello to everybody. So, you know, goodness. Yep. Here we are. Sorry, I'm just refreshing. So do you know what I mean? So creating a magical world around you, or not even creating a magic world, because magic is our existence. You can call it magic, you can call it alchemy, you can call it the occult. We are all witches. We are all energy workers. We are all magicians. We are all high priestesses or priests. We're all that. You know, the name, it doesn't matter. It's us giving it that name. It doesn't matter. We are all shapeshifters. We are all co-creators, whether we are conscious of it or unconscious of it. And that is all there is to it. So the more you become aware of that, you can experiment. You can start experimenting with that, creating vision boards, having permission slips around you, having objects that give you doorways, that give you, I guess, give you direct access into those areas of creation, and you can play with it. You can play with that idea on a small or large scale. I am surrounded by permission slips. My home, Elnora Gardens, is a permission slip because I wanted to create this place in my idea of beauty, of abundance. And so everything I do to this place is an expression of how I feel about the environment around me. And your house is absolutely within that same bracket as well. Your home, your space is absolutely a representation of your creative environment, your creative energy, whether it looks good or whether it doesn't look good. Again, it's all subjective. And like I said, I'm surrounded by permission slips. When I look at my shelves, even the color that I have painted this cabinet, it was so hideous to me before. It was so plain. I love rich, dark colors. And to me, that's a permission slip. When I look at dark colors, I feel relaxed. I feel like it's me. With anything that I create, with music, even with my soaps. Actually, I've been making some new soaps, and when I smell a bar of my soap, if any of you have bought some of my soap, you'll know that there are different smells with each different bar, and they are full of so much creation and so much creativity and so many natural elements. It's real, real witchy soap. It's real naturalist soap, real pagan soap, because it's so elemental. And actually, I actually, if you're interested, I am doing a clearance on my soap right now on my website, because the new season for new things that are growing is coming into fruition through the winter, and I'm wanting to clear out some old stock of my soap. So I'm selling 4 bars for $12.95. So if you want some soap, and if you like my soap, if you like that naturalist type soap, the rough cut ancient soap, then go to my website. I've got a link in the description. And I will try and mix up the soap, but it's basically just 4 pieces of random soap that I have made. But I hope to give you a variety if you're interested in buying some of my soap, because I have been making some new soap, and I've recently just made a geranium and sage, which is a really nice hard soap, a white soap. And then I have also made, which is still curing, carob and sandalwood, native sandalwood, with patchouli, and it's sublime. It smells so good you could almost eat it. And actually, one of my customers actually did have a bite of my Wilpena blend with the Kwandongs, the Kwandong soap, and I'm actually waiting for the next harvest of Kwandong so I can make some more Kwandong soap, because that was a big hit. And I do have a couple pieces left, but I've kept them for me so I can enjoy them as well. So if you're interested in soap, check out the link. But that's what I mean. Like, you know, these are all these objects are permission slips to take you somewhere else. Same with my jewelry that I've been making. Everything around you is permission slips. And I am very conscious of my own environment and the permission slips that I've given myself. I want to pull up at my property when I've been out and just close the gate and just breathe deeply and be like, I'm on my space. You know, I'm within and amalgamating with the energies around here, and perhaps, you know, this is only a suggestion, but perhaps that is why there are so many animals here and attracted to being here. Maybe they feel this good energy as well. I'm not sure, but I haven't given it too much thought. But I know the more life that I create, as in terms of plants and trees, the more I am seeing life. And I love nothing more than to walk out in mid-morning sun and listen to the bees and all the flowers, all my flowers. Love smelling the rosemary, and I feel how happy the bees are. I feel how content they are at doing their job, and it's so beautiful to be a part of that. And obviously, one of the biggest lessons I have here at Elnor is patience and tolerating conditions when things are not going right, as in terms of having faith in Mother Earth and her providing rain on this property, or wishing my plants would grow quicker. They need the time and the patience and the love and the nurture in these early months and vulnerable, you know, this vulnerable stage, because, you know, it's setting them up for their maturity to come. And seeing my little hothouse behind this house is, you know, seeing all my seedlings now, my natives, you know, they're like this tall, some of them, which isn't much, but considering they are started from seed and they seem to be like this size forever, now seeing them having some strength, having some root system, and knowing that they will most likely survive the winter is comforting to me, because it was very hit and miss. A lot of seedlings have died. I've lost a lot of plants. It's been so much trial and error and trying to listen to them talking to me and conveying their energies about how they feel. What do they need more of? What do they need less of? Are they happy in their environment? Because where I'm located, um, the area that I'm at, we are at an extreme elevation. It doesn't feel like it is, but you know, I am above 500 meters above sea level here, and this is why I had snow last year, because we are at a higher elevation, and it doesn't feel that way, but we are. And so this is why we have a hard frost, hard summers. Um, it really is allowing the space and the time for plants to adjust to a new environment. So, lots of trial and error, lots of permission slips, but I am creating magic in every single way and on every single level. I am absolutely living and breathing this lifestyle. There's no, there's no, it's there. There's no other way. I'm so conscious of the impression that I leave behind, and every day, all about the detail, all about the detail, everything. And that's what I mean, and I think that's very reflective of, you know, I'm just looking at this mouse balancing on the tiniest bit of, he's just crawling up the wall. I don't know how they have arms and legs and fingers and toes to do that, but he's now crawling up my stone wall. My God. So, I think this is reflective of the way, you know, I guess I treat animals and the environment. And I think a lot of you feel the same way as well and are very empathetic. Because my absolute life timeless motto, my lifetime motto that I live by and breathe every single day is to absolutely live in harmony with planet Earth. And I try to do that. Well, I'm not even trying. I do that to the best of my ability every day, but trying to maintain that and maintaining that way of life. No matter if it goes against what other people think or believe, this is my life and this is my choice. And you are always going to be met with resistance. You're always going to be met with people who do not agree with you. Always, always. But it is how you weave your way through it, how you sift through it, how you can move through it. And again, not giving something too much attention if you do not resonate with it or resonate with them. If you are not resonating with something or someone, then you absolutely you are the one that has to change the perception, and it can be so hard to do. And it's so much easier to point the finger and that what they're doing, in your opinion, is not right or is not conducive to the way you feel. And there's a lot of that in the world. However, the less you focus on it and try to look at other positive aspects about them or a situation, the more it will not exist in your reality. Even if it does exist around you, it is invisible to you. You will not experience it. You will not see it. You will not feel it. And that's a real mastery, because there is so much subliminal hypnosis. There is so much influence. And most of the time, people do not even realize of the hypnotic effect outside agencies and outside environments and outside influence actually has. There is so much unconscious, hypnotic energy within the world. We only have to see that with telephone, iPhone technology, technology in general. It's everywhere. And I've mentioned before that it really, really takes a concerted effort to move away from that, to really maintain the reality that you want to be around. And in actual fact, once you realize how easy it is to actually separate yourself when you focus on the things that you love and that you're passionate about, the less you are going to be influenced, or the less you will see these things existing within your immediate environment, even if they are happening around you. You know, for example, you know, this latest stage drama with this whole, you know, pandemic. You see how apprehensive I am to even mention that? I have barely felt it. I have barely felt this entire experience. Same with the toilet paper craze. I barely felt it because I gave these things none of my time, none of my energy. I see it for what it is. And because it did not resonate with me, I chose to focus less of my attention on it. And I barely felt it. Not once did I have to wear a mask. You know, I think it's your choice. And then when I read in emails, personal emails, people emailing to me saying how they don't have any choice, that is rubbish. That is absolute rubbish. You absolutely have full control of your choice and the choices you make. Everybody has a choice. Everybody has a choice. You are not forced to do anything. You know, but then when we get to a state when we are, that's obviously when big problems are going to be arising. Well, it's happening now, and people feel they are losing their freedom and they are losing their rights as a human being. But again, how much are you willing to give that? How much emotion and energy and time are you willing to give that thought and that idea? Because if you believe you are not losing control or choice, then you are more likely to not be affected by that. Deep breath, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath in, people of Earth. So talking and, you know, flowing with how I'm feeling about this, with this live stream today. Hello, Witchy Crafter. I have been so well. Thank you so much for asking. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Monique. Hi, Ross. Rich and dark, like a true Capricorn queen. Hi, Spooky Mink. Overground ghosted by YouTube. I haven't caught a live stream here for months. Hello from Edinburgh. Hi, Hechizos. Sorry, I cannot pronounce this Spanish. Hechizos and Brujeria. Andulairah, I've gotten into gardening because of you. Oh. Well, I hope you feel the same way in your gardening journey, the way that I do, because to me, my journey with nature and with Mother Earth is unlike any that I've ever experienced in my life, and there is nothing more richer than this relationship, at seeing Mother Earth expressing her truth to me, the truth of abundance, the truth of the nature of our reality, because the truth to me is one of absolute flawless abundance, flawless beauty. I see this represented in nature. I see this in a tree. When you plant one seed and it yields just an overflow of abundance freely for us every year, to me that is an unspeakable, unconditional amount of trust and abundance and love and the true nature of our existence. Look at this. I mean, it's only a small harvest. This is my saffron. I know I keep going on about this, but you know, I feel so lucky. Oh my God, fresh saffron. Let me bring the video screen back up. Can you see that? Fresh saffron, El Noor saffron. And the smell is, if you've ever had homegrown saffron, you'll understand where I'm coming from. The smell you cannot replicate. And I know a lot of, people have tried to replicate saffron because it is the most expensive spice on the planet. So this is the stigmas. Now these are the antlers, but they don't smell as pungent as the red saffron. But this is, this is actually sold as well. Not so much probably in this country, but in Iran, in Persian countries, in Africa, the yellow parts of saffron are sold. And I've even kept her petals. And I will most likely use the saffron petals in soap to come. I love my my daring nature to blend very different and exotic ingredients in my soap. You will always get very different and exotic blends of soap with me. And I love how sometimes they work, sometimes they may not work, but more often than not, I trust my intuition, and I have made some incredible smelling soap by blending things that I wouldn't even dream of blending. That sounds like, hello Shalaha. She's always here with these live streams, this chook. Yeah, so fresh saffron. You know what it's like? It's like smelling a rose for the first time in the morning, because after you try and do it a second time, it's never as good as the first. Hello, darling. You gonna lay an egg? So, there's so much reward and love and such a beautiful relationship once you get going with the gardening. And obviously there is times of frustration and disheartening, like there can be some disheartening times. I've definitely felt it, and I've shared it with my experiences, but I know with every passing year, things are growing bigger and bigger and more wild, and I feel the pulse of the earth around me, and it's such a personal, unique journey. You will know it when you feel it yourself. So you may only start your gardening journey with a couple of, things to plant, but once you get going, believe me, it's very hard to stop, and you feel such an immense love and immense gratitude when you succeed in growing something delicious and beautiful. Not even delicious in an edible way, but just delicious to look at, and so lovely. Would you like to come up here? Come on. I'm trying to grab her. Come on. Oh, oh, sorry. Are we back? Is she on here? There she is. That's my girl. She loves her mama. So yeah, she's come to say hello online. She may disappear in a few seconds. She only likes cuddles for a little bit. She's not like Venus. Venus will stay all morning if I let her. You gonna lay an egg? Yeah. Shalaha is my biggest chook, but she is the one, she's got the littlest personality. She's very shy, she's very timid, but she can be very, very loud. And she does get picked on by her sister Erethe. But there's a real pecking order. Erethe gets picked on by Venus, and Venus, everyone gets picked on by Dima, who's the queen chook. Oh, she's mama's girl. So she's coming in to lay an egg. They've now moved into the workshop to lay. And right where I'm about to be painting this other side of the cabinet. So yeah, just enjoying the live stream for now. So I'm trying to think how old she actually is. I got her at the start of 2018, and they were the most silkiest little chickens and so docile. When I pulled them out of the box, their feathers were so silky. They had no combs. Now look at Shalaha's comb. She's got one of the biggest combs. And she was just, oh God, they were the most beautiful little innocent, naive birds. And this is what I mean, you know, like, to a lot of people, they're only chickens, but believe me, they are so much more than chickens. They each have their own personality. I know when they're sad. I know when they're happy. I know when they're sick. Like, and they're smart. They listen to me. They know when it's, I don't want to say BED, but they know that word. And as soon as I say that, they start coming inside from the paddock and lining up. And one by one, I pick them up. They squat down and thump their feet, and I pick them up and put them to bed. Call me a overbearing, overloving mother, but I actually have a little hot rock, a special animal hot rock for them on the cold nights. We've used it a couple times, haven't we? So what I do is I warm it up because I do have a microwave down in the cellar, and I'm so glad I didn't throw it out because I just had it there, and I was threatening actually my father to get rid of it because he told me to keep it in case. Well, I'm glad I didn't throw it out because now I can heat up this it's like a brick, and you warm it up for like 8 minutes. My girlfriend who lives over the range from me, she got me onto it because she had legs, her pet Joey. Maybe you saw my little picture on my Instagram ages and ages ago. And she needed to keep him warm at night, so she bought one of these things, and it absolutely works. Whoop. It absolutely works, and it keeps, oops, she put out the candle. It absolutely keeps them warm for like, oh my gosh, like 8 hours. And you know what? I even bought one for myself on the cold nights because I put it on my toes. And I'll wake up, and even if I've left it in my bed at lunchtime, it's still warm, and that's from 7 o'clock the night before. So you warm them up in the microwave, and then for about 8 minutes. So I go off and do things, and then I put it under their bums on their perch when they're sleeping. So even though they're not near it, you know, heat rises, and they will feel that heat and at least take the sting out of the cold night by at least a couple of degrees. You know, so, you know, call it crazy, but I love my pets. So if I was a chicken, you know, I'd appreciate that. And so I think about that. I think about how would I feel. They know how much I love them, but you know, I probably take it an extra step as well. But I love my pets and any animal. And I actually, in my upcoming blog, I talk about how I tried to rescue a baby pigeon or a fledgling pigeon that was obviously injured, and I tried to nurse her and nurture her. I share the story on the blog, but she ended up dying. And this is the you know, harshness of nature. Nature can be so beautiful, and it can also be so cruel. And nature can actually be so cruel to each other. But I actually think that that is a reflection of our energies as human beings and how we very much have a competitive nature. And if you actually listen to a fantastic animal communicator, Anna Breitenbach, I believe is how you pronounce her surname, she goes on to say the reason there are, just as this example, the reason there are shark attacks is because the sharks are mimicking and reflecting the energy that is being emanated by the human in the water. So if let's just say, for example, you are surfing and you are emanating a very competitive energy and very aggressive, ambitious, competitive energy, the shark is going to feel that and mimic that, and basically you are attracting that shark to you. Whereas if you look at someone like the shark dancer, the lady that is swimming with the sharks and she's nurturing them and touching them and she's with them, my gosh, they are drawing to her for love and attention, and she's patting them. She's removing their hooks for them. And the other sharks that have had their hooks removed are telling their other friends and family that have hooks stuck in them, and they go to her when she's in the water and get their hooks removed. I mean, this is how it is. And so, when I hear about things like a mouse plague, which is happening in our country right now, I I see that as a reflection, excuse me, a reflection of the energy that we are putting out as a whole into the planet. And I really believe on an energetic, unconscious level, or very conscious, I should say, mouse plague is very conscious, that this is a reflection of the energy we are putting out. That is my psychic impression, because the plagues come and go. Why are they apparent in some years and not in others? I know a lot of people say, well, we've had a good year of crop. Well, some places haven't, and yet they still have a mouse plague. So I seem to think there is absolutely a correlation between the energy that we amass and emanate as a whole and animals reflecting that. They say the reason that animals have a very competitive, aggressive nature sometimes is a reflection of our energy as a whole. Again, it could be subjective, but it's very interesting idea. It's very interesting ideas to look into and to research. Shalaha's gone outside again now, so she hasn't laid an egg yet. Ah. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Nadia. I don't know if you have Netflix. I don't, honey. But there is an interview documentary of Bob Lazar. He used to, yes, I know Bob Lazar. I don't know him, but I know of him. And yes, I'm very aware of his story. And I actually probably think I've seen this documentary. I did rent one to watch. And I'd say if it's the one with Jeremy Corbell, I've seen it, and it's good. I admire Bob Lazar for being authentic and maintaining his dignity over the years of how much, gosh, could you imagine how, I can't imagine how much ridicule and smearing he must have faced, because he's absolutely, or maybe he's not a threat now, but in the beginning, the more you stand out and speak about these things, or if you invent something, or if you are shown to be a very progressive creator or innovator, you become a target. Um, Scientists, physicists, I don't know, I think some people tread lightly, and then others, they do or die, basically. They cannot live any other way. And, you know, they absolutely become targets. Someone like that comes to mind is Phil Schneider, also very someone who was basically do or die, and his life was taken because of it. And not to mention the whole smearing campaign about, you know, saying he was a psycho and all these behavioral things. Same with uh, there's a lot of talk around the reporter or the researcher Richard Hall with all those areas of human mutilation and you know, this secret faction that was on 24-hour call 7 days a week, 365 days a year, going to places anywhere in the world where there were crashed crafts, alien crafts, and yeah, I'm not going to get into that in this video, but I don't think Richard Hall is even posting on YouTube anymore, because I don't know if his channel has been taken down, but he's got his own website with things. But I will just say from 2009 until now, you will barely find any kind of UFO documentaries or anything new or fresh or anything at all on YouTube or Google. Everything has been sanitized and taken either down or away. I don't know, but there's not much left anymore. And I feel happy that I invested in a lot of old books that are not for sale anymore. I have a whole, you know, small library of things that I've gone online and I can't find them anymore. So yeah, I feel happy that I got onto it early on, back in 2008, 2009. So anyway, I feel, you know, this space, you know, talking about creating a magic life, creating the world around you, it's so pertinent right now. And in many ways, it's very reflective of what is happening in our world. And a last-ditch attempt of trying to control the masses, but people are becoming more aware, becoming more conscious, becoming more empathetic, becoming more sensitive to the world around them. And technology has played a fantastic role in that. You know, so again, it's all about balancing the scales and finding your place, finding your home on this planet, and not being afraid to absolutely express and create your life in any way in which you want to. That's the most, to me, that's the most important thing, is you feeling like you can express yourself in any way, shape or form. And I love how more accepting our world is becoming. It seems to be in places, but then there are a lot of things that obviously need work on. So you know, so I would like to keep my life very simple, and it is very simple. It's very busy, but it is inherently simple. And again, you know, my lifetime motto is simply to live in accordance, to the best of my ability, to live in accordance with planet Earth, and nurturing her and really experiencing that abundance firsthand, creating that abundance firsthand. And it's a long haul project, but a very beautiful one. And it keeps, I keep getting surprised. I love the small surprises I see, you know, every couple of months, like these olive trees at the front here. I've got olives now. I put them in a few years ago, and they're getting big. You know, their trunks are, you know, getting big, and seeing black olives on my tree. And I've harvested my little small crop, and I am now brining them. They're in a brining solution in my kitchen. So, you know, and obviously it does cost money to buy plants and things to start with. I mean, I absolutely have spent a lot of money these last few years at establishing. I do, and I am growing things from seed. I do have fruit trees that I'm growing from cuttings. But again, you know, it can take 6 to 8 months for a cutting of any sort to develop a root system, and so much trial and error. But I've also learned that sometimes stepping back and stepping out of the way and just letting nature take its course can sometimes be the most effective method to propagating and growing a beautiful garden. And I have absolutely stepped back. And now I have to admit, though, I am still watering because it's been a dry season. So I will most likely get out today and water my big date palms. I watered my little date palms yesterday that have survived the onslaught of the summer. And I've planted out, you know, like 30 protea plants, leucadendrons and leucospermums, which are very drought tolerant, drought hardy, apparently frost tolerant, but we'll see, because I'm sure we're going to have some frosts this season at Elnor. Uh-oh, here comes, I bet you it's Shalaha again. Haven't heard any noises yet. It's her. So anyway, I love you guys. And just know, if I can leave with a parting message, know that you can absolutely create the most magical existence that you could conceive of. And whether it makes sense to somebody else or not, it does not matter. If it makes sense to you, and if it feels right to you, trust that inner guidance. Trust that inner knowing. It is the most important aspect to guiding you through your life in the most authentic and integral way possible. So I leave you on that note, and I send you my love and blessings, and may you always, always, always be blessed by the supreme truth and love of the cosmos. Know what you are, know your sovereignty, and know the power that you have to create worlds, to create anything that you desire. Love you guys.